Lompoc, California. Lompoc, /Lompoc/ Lompoc, Purisimeño, Lompo, Stagnant Water, Spanish, Lumpoco, is a city in Santa Barbara County, California, on the west coast of the United States. The city was incorporated on August 13, 1888. The population was 42,434 at the 2010 census, up from 41,103 at the 2000 census. Before European settlers arrived, the area around Lompoc was inhabited by the Chumash people. The name of the city is derived from a Purisimeño term, LOM-poke, which means stagnant waters or lagoon. The Spanish called it Lumpoco. In 1837, the Mexican government sold the area as the Rancho Lompoc land grant. After the United States gained control of California in the Mexican-American War, 1846–48, the valley was acquired by Thomas Dibley, Albert Dibley, and William Wells Hollister. Hollister sold his share to the Lompoc Valley Land Company, and it was on that portion of the land that the present-day Lompoc was established as a temperance colony. Lompoc was originally intended to be named New Vineland, after the temperance colony in New Jersey. It then became a military town with the completion of nearby Camp Cook, now Vandenberg Air Force Base. The city is known as the flower seed capital of the world. History. Prior to the Spanish conquest, the area around Lompoc was inhabited by the Chumash people. La Purisima Mission was established in 1787 near what is now the southern edge of the city. Purisimeño, a Chumashan language, was spoken in the region during the mission period. After an earthquake destroyed the mission in 1812, it was relocated to its present location 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers, northeast of the present city. After independence from the Spanish Empire, the First Mexican Empire was established in 1821. The Mexicans secularized the Spanish missions in 1833, and La Purisima Mission gradually fell into ruins. In 1893, a diatomaceous earth mine opened in the southern hills in Miguelito Canyon. It became, and still is, the largest marine diatomite mine in the world, and at one time was the largest employer in the valley. In the 1940s, Grafco, another diatomaceous earth company, moved to Lompoc. It ceased operations in 1998, but the remnants of its mine can still be seen at the northeast end of town. In 1909, the Sybil Marston, at the time, the largest steam schooner built on the west coast, sank nearby while carrying 1,100,000 board feet, 2,600 cubic meters, of lumber. Many of the older Lompoc homes were built with lumber from the shipwreck. The wreckage can still be seen south of Surf Beach. The coastal branch of the Southern Pacific Railroad opened around 1900 and eventually replaced ship transportation. A paved road linked Lompoc to Buellton and the rest of California around 1920. In 1923, the Honda Point disaster, the U.S.'s largest peacetime naval accident, occurred just off the coast. 9 U.S. destroyers ran aground, killing 23 people. During the Great Depression, La Purisima Mission was restored by the Civilian Conservation Corps, CCC. During World War II, the coast west of Lompoc was the site of Camp Cook, a United States Army training camp where large units could practice maneuvers. Lompoc grew slowly until 1958, when the United States Air Force announced that the former Camp Cook would be a test site for the Thor family of intermediate-range ballistic missiles and the first operational base for the SM-65 Atlas, an intercontinental ballistic missile. The city then began to grow rapidly to provide housing for thousands of civilians and contractors employed at what was soon renamed Vandenberg Air Force Base. It was the first missile base of the United States Air Force. The Space Shuttle program was slated to begin launches in the late 1980s, and the city experienced a boom in restaurant and hotel construction in anticipation of tourists coming to see shuttle launches. However, when the Challenger exploded during takeoff from Cape Canaveral in 1986, the West Coast Shuttle program was terminated, sending Lompoc into a severe recession. Today, Lompoc is called the City of Arts and Flowers and is also becoming known for its wines. In 2010, Playboy named Jasper's, a local bar, one of the top 10 dive bars in the country. Geography. Lompoc is located at 34°3846 and 120°2737 W/34.64611° and 120.46028° W/34.64611, -120.46028, 34.646182, -120.460316. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 11.7 square miles, 30 square kilometers, 99.34% of it land and 0.66% of it water. Most of the city is in the valley of the Santa Ynez River, at an elevation of about 8,100 feet, 25-30 meters. Recent expansion has been to the north, on higher ground known as Vandenberg Village, with elevations of 1,500 feet, 5,100 meters. Like most rivers in Southern California, the Santa Ynez River does not have a surface flow for most of the year. Underground flow in the sandy river bed recharges the aquifer beneath the city, from which 9 wells, with the 10th one planned, supply the city with water. Unlike many other cities in Southern California, Lompoc is not connected to the state water project. Climate. Lompoc has a cool Mediterranean climate, Köppen climate classification CSB, typical of coastal California. The city is mostly sunny, with an ocean breeze. Fog is common. Snow is virtually unknown. The highest recorded temperature was 110 degrees Fahrenheit, 44 degrees Celsius, in 1987, and the lowest recorded temperature was 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -9 degrees Celsius, in 2013. Demographics. 2010. In the 2010 United States Census, Lompoc had a population of 42,434. The population density was 3,634.7 people per square mile, 1,403.4/km superscript 2. The racial makeup was 25,950, 61.2%. White, 2,432, 5.7%. African American, 750, 1.8%. Native American, 1,615, 3.8%. Asian, 186, 0.4%. Pacific Islander, 9,020, 21.3%, from other races, and 2,481, 5.8%, from 2 or more races. There were 21,557 Hispanics or Latinos of any race, 50.8%. The census reported that 38,778 people, 91.4% of the population, lived in households, 99, 0.2%, lived in non-institutionalized group quarters, and 3,557, 8.4%, were institutionalized. There were 13,355 households, of which 5,481, 41.0%, had children under the age of 18 living in them, 6,323, 47.3%, were opposite-sex married couples living together, 2,061, 15.4%, had a female householder with no husband present, and 913, 6.8%, had a male householder with no wife present. There were 949, 7.1%, unmarried opposite-sex partnerships and 75, 0.6%, same-sex married couples or partnerships. 3,304 households, 24.7%, were made up of individuals, and 1,187, 8.9%, had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.9. There were 9,297 families, 69.6% of all households. the average family size was 3.48. The population included 11,188 people, 26.4%, under the age of 18, 4,452 people, 10.5%, aged 18 to 24, 12,233 people, 28.8%, aged 25 to 44, 10,338 people, 24.4%, aged 45 to 64, and 4,223 people, 10.0%, who were 65 or older. The median age was 33.9 years. For every 100 females, there were 114.9 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 118.7 males. There were 14,416 housing units at an average density of 1,234.8 per square mile, 476.8/km superscript 2, of which 6,493, 48.6%, were owner-occupied and 6,862, 51.4%, were occupied by renters. The homeowner vacancy rate was 2.2%, the rental vacancy rate was 7.1%. 18,534 people, 43.7% of the population, lived in owner-occupied housing units, and 20,244 people, 47.7%, lived in rental housing units. 2000. As of the 2000 census, there were 43,284 people, 13,059 households, and 9,311 families residing in Lompoc. The population density was 3,532.2 people per square mile, 1,363.4/km superscript 2. There were 13,621 housing units at an average density of 1,170.5 per square mile, 451.8/km superscript 2. The racial makeup of the city was 65.81% white, 7.34% African American, 1.58% Native American, 3.90% Asian, 0.32% Pacific Islander, 15.68% from other races, and 5.35% from two or more races. Hispanics or Latinos of any race were 37.31% of the population. There were 13,059 households, of which 41.1% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 51.0% were married couples living together, 14.8% had a female householder with no husband present, and 28.7% were non-families. 23.5% of all households were made up of individuals, and 8.3% had someone living alone who was 65 or older. The average household size was 2.88, and the average family size was 3.42. The population included 29.9% under the age of 18, 8.9% from 18 to 24, 33.3% from 25 to 44, 18.5% from 45 to 64, and 9.4% who were 65 or older. The median age was 32. For every 100 females, there were 113.0 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 116.4 males. The median income for a household in the city was $47,587, and the median income for a family was $62,199. Males had a median income of $35,074, versus $26,824 for females. The per capita income was $15,509. About 12.6% of families and 15.4% of the population were below the poverty line, including 20.8% of those under 18 and 6.7% of those 65 or older. Public safety. The Lompoc Police Department is the primary law enforcement agency for the city. The city is also served by the Lompoc Fire Department, LFD, which responds to more than 3,800 emergency and non-emergency calls per year. The LFD provides mutual aid to the Santa Barbara County Fire Department as well as providing primary fire protection and emergency medical response to the United States Penitentiary, Lompoc. The Federal Correctional Complex located between Lompoc and Vandenberg AFB includes the medium and low security Federal Correctional Institution, Lompoc, 2 minimum security camps. Transportation. State Route 1 is the major north-south artery through Lompoc. State Route 246 heads east to Buellton and the Santa Ynez Valley. The Surf train station is located to the west at Surf Beach and is served by Amtrak's Pacific Surfliner line. Thruway motor coach buses stop in town. Lompoc is also served by City of Lompoc Transit, the Clean Air Express to Santa Barbara/Goleta, and the Breeze bus to Buellton/Solvang and Santa Maria. Education. Schools. Community colleges. High schools. Junior high/middle schools. Elementary schools. Local economy. Vandenberg Air Force Base dominates the economy, directly employing a large percentage of Lompoc's residents and contributing $1.7 billion to the regional economy. Vandenberg Air Force Base employs the most residents of Lompoc. They employ 6,889 residents. http://www.cityoflompoc.com/econdev/majorindustries.htm. Other mainstays of the economy include the Federal Correctional Institution, the diatomaceous earth mine, today owned by Imerys, the Lompoc oil field and associated oil processing facilities north of town, and agriculture, especially seed flowers and vegetables. Wine production and wine tourism make up the rapidly expanding value-added agricultural sector of the Lompoc economy. Lompoc Valley is the gateway to the Sta Rita Hills Ava wine appellation, internationally recognized for premium Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. 30 premium boutique wine labels are produced in Lompoc, at wineries in the Wine Ghetto Industrial Park and other locations. Numerous other wineries are located along State Route 246 and on Santa Rosa Road. Tasting rooms are located in the Wine Ghetto and other parts of Lompoc. Since the end of the Cold War, many workers employed in Santa Barbara have moved to Lompoc to take advantage of lower housing costs, effectively making Lompoc a bedroom community of Santa Barbara. The character of the town has changed considerably with the growth associated with this demographic shift. In addition, new housing developments are spreading into the adjacent hills on the north side of town. Cannabis dispensaries pay a 6% gross sales tax to the city. Culture. The Lompoc Valley Flower Festival, held the last week of June, features a parade, carnival, and craft show. In 2002, the Bodger Seed Company planted a floral flag as a tribute after the September 11 attacks. The flag was 740 feet by 390 feet, covered 6.65 acres, and was estimated to contain more than 400,000 larkspur plants. The Lompoc arts scene features a number of musicians and bands, ranging from singer-songwriters to psychedelic blues rock bands. At the center of this scene is Howland Byron's Music Exchange, a music store and frequent venue for Lompoc's musicians. The shop opened in May 2009 and offers guitar lessons, consigned musical instruments and live performances. Local artists. One of Lompoc's most successful musical artists is the rock band St. Anne's Place, which was formed in 2008 and originally featured Jacob Cole, Samuel Cole, J.T. Wild, and Clive Hacker. Today, its members are the Coles and their cousin, Joel, a bassist. They grew up playing in their family's blues bands and released their first EP, Speak Easy, in 2011. The band's music has been described as a blistering yet rustic mix of blues, psychedelia, and folk rock with the chops of players twice their senior. In 2011, they won the Santa Barbara Independent Battle of the Bands. They released their second EP, The Earth Shaker, in December 2012 to positive reviews by the local media. Emily Wryn is a Lompoc songwriter whose music has been featured on NPR's Morning Becomes Eclectic. Her first EP, Head On Straight, was released in February 2012, and she played at the Indie Week Festival in Ireland in April 2014. WRYN also collaborates with a local band, St. Anne's Place, in a group called The Lights Electric. Another band, Millions, led by Randall Cena, plays along the Central Coast. Cena recorded and produced WRYN's Head on Straight and St. Anne's Place's Speakeasy in his recording studio, Certain Sparks. Lompoc Theater. The Lompoc Theater, which opened in 1927, was owned and operated by the Calvert family for many years. It encountered financial trouble in the 1970s because of competition from multiplexes and television. The last time a movie was shown on its screen was in 1985. In July 2003, a non-profit group, the Lompoc Housing and Community Development Corporation, announced plans to restore the theater. With the assistance of the city, the LHCDC was able to raise funds to buy the theater. By March 2008, the cost of renovating the building was estimated at just under $10 million. The LHCDC was unable to raise the money needed for renovations, and the building accumulated 3 liens. It was eventually sold to a grassroots group called the Lompoc Theater Project, which hopes to reopen the theater in 2017. Lompoc Pops Orchestra. The Lompoc Pops Orchestra has been performing for 20 years. Composed of approximately 45 semi-professional musicians, under the direction of Dr. Brian Asher Al-Hadef, its 4 annual performances include musicals, Broadway hits, jazz pieces, big band, gospel, and patriotic music. Notable people. Sister cities. Lompoc has 5 sister cities. Tourist attractions.